a boy and a girl, aged 10 and 9. Her highest level of education, she does have her GED. She recently started working, Your Honor, at the airport, only been there 2 weeks, I believe. She has one of her children is autistic. Um, Thankfully, she has her home through a DBHDD program where they help with her housing expenses for her family. She's been in Georgia all her life. Um, we are asking the court. She denies the allegations as they're alleged, asserts that she was acting in self-defense. I don't believe the 2021 ag assault. I believe that's just an allegation at this point. I don't think that is actually a conviction. She is okay with not having contact with Mr. Spencer. Um, so we will be asking the court, based on her very limited income, the fact that she does have minor children who she needs to take care of, and hopefully she will be able to keep her job for a bond that she will be able to afford. So that would be a signature bond, either through the jail or pretrial services on this case. So she's able to get back out to her life. All right.
The 2010 aggravated assault is a conviction out of Fulton County. It's 10 SC 90322. She has that outstanding bench warrant on a 2019 case. That pretrial mentioned previously, that's an incident that's a reckless conduct arrest that she's in active failure to appear status, 19 CR 002337F, and that involves her juvenile children.
I'm familiar with that case as well. But let me just go ahead and address the battery family violence. Miss Ida Wu, because you've got an outstanding bench warrant, which is a failure to appear in an open case, you do not qualify for a signature bond at the present time. For this particular matter, your bond is going to be set at $1,500, and that's going to be a surety bond. And your next court date is going to be May 20th. And Ms. Bridgewater, we're going to reset her other case as well on May 20th, and that is 19 CR 002337F. Presently, she has a $3,200 cash bond set by Judge Richardson. With respect to her current case, she's to have no further contact with Kyle Spencer, to stay away from the incident location, update the court with a new mailing address if she bonds out, and no illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Thank you.
I got position 2 next, Judge, Mr. Bien.
This is Jarrett Bain, accused of disorderly conduct from May 5th of 2025, case 25 CR 2380E. Mr. Bain, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Ms. Cook. Any priors?
No.
Okay.
He had to have a TPO out of New York.
All right.
That's all.
All right. Miss Harrison?
Your Honor, this offense occurred on May 5th, 2020-25. Officers were dispatched near the intersection of Kimball Bridge Road and State Bridge Road in reference to a report of property damage. The caller reported that someone threw an object at her vehicle. Upon arriving at the scene, officers met with Denisha Thompson, who was parked near the intersection. She told officers that as she was traveling southbound on Kimball Road, approaching the intersection, she entered the light to make a right turn. She entered the right turn lane, and observed the defendant standing on the sidewalk and saw him throw an object at her vehicle. She was able to give officers a description of the defendant, his physical description, and his clothing description. And officers observed the passenger side of her car and saw signs of an impact, though they didn't see any structural damage. Ms. Thompson stated that the object struck her car and made a loud noise, and that impact startled her, causing her to swerve and strike a curb. While one officer was speaking to Ms. Thompson, another officer located the defendant a short distance away near his car. He told the officers that he was driving southbound on Kimball Road, going to a sporting goods store to return a pair of shoes. His car broke down near the intersection of Webb Bridgeway, and after his car broke down, he exited his vehicle with his belongings and began walking along the road. He admitted to officers that he threw a bottle of water at a passing vehicle, and he responded that he did this because this town has enabled the same pattern of abuses that went on in Nazi Holocaust Germany. They watched it for a month and nobody treated him with any ounce of respect or human dignity. So at that point, the most patriotic thing to do was throw a water bottle at a Nazi's car. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond, but we are also requesting a social worker visit to conduct a BHET for the defendant. We're asking for no further contact with the victim and no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while out on bond. We would like to sound from Ms. Thompson in case she's joined us in court today, and that'll be all for the state.
All right. Miss Denisha Thompson, if you're on Zoom, this will be the time to unmute, start your video. Will the host please check on iPhone 2? I think that person is driving. If you can ascertain that they're driving, remove them from Zoom, please. Yeah, this person with iPhone 2, remove them from Zoom. Thank you. Yes, Miss Thompson, is that you? Denisha Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you reposition yourself so that we have some light on you? I can barely see you. You have a lamp or an open window? Miss Thompson?
Is-
There we go, perfect. Please raise your right hand. I think her Wi-Fi may be. Miss Thompson, can you hear the code? Okay, do you solemnly swear and affirm that
Yes,
what
ma'am.
you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
It was just a traumatic experience. I'm driving at night, going to work, and someone's chucking stuff at my car.
Okay, did your car sustain any damage?
It's just a whole bunch of scratches on my windows.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. If you please like to mute your,
Thank you.
Miss Cook?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ben is 29 years old. He, in speaking with him, just so the court is aware, I don't ascertain any apparent mental health concerns. He states that he has a master's degree that he received in 2020, a bachelor's degree that he received in 2017. He graduated high school in 2013 out of New York. Right now, he's not currently working, but he was previously employed at a Mexican restaurant here in Georgia.
I'm sorry, did what with the restaurant?
He was previously employed at a Mexican restaurant here in Georgia, but not currently working, so not currently employed. So he doesn't have any current income at the moment. He does have limited funds. His vehicle is currently impound and did break down. So, Your Honor, he doesn't have any prior criminal convictions that we're aware of. For those reasons, we are asking the court for a signature bond on these matters. Like I said, limited funds. He's only been in Georgia for about a month. However, he is willing to come to court and face the allegations against him. So we will be asking the court for a signature bond. He does not know the complaining witness. So if you want to do a no contact with her, he has no issues with that.
All right, and where does he live?
Your Honor, currently I would say that he's probably residentially challenged. He's from New York. Recently he came to Georgia in his car, and that's where I guess he's basically been living out of there. So right now I'm not sure. He did give me an address, a mailing address, but that address is a New York address.
Understood. Okay. Due to Mr. Bain's unfortunate lack of ties with the community, the bond is going to be set at $1,000. It is a surety bond. No further contact with Denisha Thompson. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. I would require a social worker visit as well, just based on the allegations set forth in the warrant. And his next court date is May 20th. Within 30 days, if he makes bond, he is required to update the court with a current mailing address. Thank you.
Judge, I got position 4, Mr. Burton.
Okay. This is State versus Trevor Burton, case number 25 CR 2378B. Mr. Burton's got 2 counts of criminal trespass stemming from an April 23rd, 2025 incident. Mr. Burton, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Tamisha Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
73. You want me to keep going? Okay.
Uh,
Last,
Any bench warrants in the last 5 years or probation violations?
no, but they got a lot of trespass convictions. Last arrest was in April. He
Okay.
got, all right,
Just wanted to know whether he had any open bench warrants. All right.
not sure.
Uh,
The last FTA though was 2019. I do know that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred actually on April 23rd, 2025. Officers responded to a call at 10 Drum 88th 5th Street Northwest in reference to a damage to a property report. They met with the 10 Drum owner, Mr. Stephen Chan, who stated that he noticed a dead rat on his front patio. He believes it was intentionally put there because he's never seen anything like that. And he also stated that he has flags on his front patio and the string that secures them were missing when he opened his store. Officers were able to review Georgia Tech police video located in the Georgia Tech Square. And on April 23rd, 2025, they observed a black male on the video approaching 10 Drum and tampering with the flags. They could not they did not see any disposing of a dead rat, but they did see the defendant's face clearly as he passed the camera multiple times. This is how they were able to identify him as Mr. Trevor Burton. Officers did note that he has 15 Georgia Tech Police Department arrests, and he has previously been trespassed from the entire Georgia Tech campus. The open case that was mentioned by Trooper, well, the arrest in April by pretrial was, I believe, a trespass for that location as well. He has a lifetime ban from Georgia Tech campus. We are aware that the defendant might be facing some residential challenges. As such, the state's recommendation in this case is $1,000 signature bond. We'd like him to be visited by a social worker to determine if there's any residential assistances available for him, or conduct a BHET if that's necessary. We're asking for a stay away from the entire Georgia Tech campus again, and of course the 10 Drum location, which is 88 5th Street, and no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while on bond.
Was this property on Georgia Tech, the Tin Drum restaurant?
Yes, Your Honor, it's on Georgia Tech campus.
All right. Ms. Cook?
Yeah, the state's recommendation was $1,000 signature bond?
Through the jail. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Burton, you're going to receive a $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count. That means it's a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. With 73 arrest cycles, do you understand what a signature bond through the jail means? Yes, no? Please unmute.
Yes, yes,
You do?
yes.
What does it mean?
I'm young, but
What does a signature bond through the jail mean?
I don't pay no any money.
Well, that's the nugget of it all. You don't have to pay money, but you have to comply with the conditions. You just got released from Fulton County Jail about May, what was it, April 16th?
Yes,
A month ago?
yes,
Yeah?
yes.
And then now you're back. Did you miss us?
Oh, little.
Okay. Well, if you come back to jail again, this $2,000 signature bond is going to be a cash bond. Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
That means you're not going to get a signature bond if you come back to jail again. You are required to stay away from all property belonging to Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Cannot be at any restaurant that is called Tin Drum in Fulton County, including the one at 88 and 5th Street.
Okay.
Since you don't like their food, you don't need to go there.
Okay, all right.
All right?
Yes.
And if you return to Georgia Tech property, or if you're anywhere near this Tin Drum restaurant, please make sure you bring $2,000 back with you when you come back to jail.
All right.
This is another open active case against you, and make sure that you come back to court when summoned. Thank you.
I got position six next, Judge, Mr. Humphrey.
Okay. Quintarius Humphrey is accused of battery and cruelty in the 3rd degree from March 22nd of this year, case 25 CR 2374E. Mr. Humphrey, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Cook. And any prize?
Second, you got an open armed robbery act assault 24 SC 002983.
Thank you. Miss Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on March 22nd, 2025. Officers responded to 1175 Hembry Road, which is in-town suites, in reference to a physical disturbance. Upon arrival, officers discovered the altercation was between a Deja Ryder, a Nikayla Patton, and a Brittany Carroll over a dispute with their children. Deja and Brittany had a verbal altercation, and Nikayla and Brittany had a physical one. Brittany told officers that at one point during the physical altercation, she was on top of Nikayla, hitting her when she was punched in the face by Nikayla's boyfriend, who goes by the name Q, which would be the defendant. Brittany advised that the physical altercation came to an end after she was punched by the defendant, and she called 911. When officers arrived at the scene, she had an obvious hematoma and bleeding from her right eye and face. Officers reviewed video footage from the in-town suites and observed the altercation. There was also a third-party witness on the scene who observed the altercation between Nikayla and Brittany and actually saw the defendant jump in and punch Mrs. Carroll, and he actually pulled the defendant away from the altercation after Miss Carroll was struck. Miss Deja, Nikayla, and Brittany all advised officers that their kids, 2 juveniles with the initials AM and CR, were near the scene when the altercation occurred, and they did witness the accident. They were able to see it and hear the altercation. The state's recommendation for the 2 charges is a $2,000 surety bond. We're asking for no contact at all with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while out on bond. And that'll be all. We would like to sound for Ms. Carroll in the event that she's joined us in court here today. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
What's her full name?
Her name is Brittany Carroll.
Brittany Carroll. And she was the one living in town, or the other one?
I don't think anyone was living at the in-town suites. I'm not sure. That wasn't really stated. And we didn't get that information from her.
Okay. Brittany Carroll, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute or start your video. Okay, Ms. Cook.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Humphrey is 22 years old. He has been in Georgia all his life. All of his family is present here in Georgia. He's completed the 11th grade. Doesn't have currently a GED, but working on it. Right now, he's not currently working. As he does have a 9-month-old daughter, and he did have
with whom? Who's the mom?
I believe the mom is Nikayla, his girlfriend.
Okay.
Who is not the alleged victim.
Mm-hmm.
But she is one of the people that was involved in the altercation, Judge. That's the same name.
That's what I thought. Okay.
As it was listed in the accusation, the victim for this case was Brittany Carroll. So that's what I meant. Your Honor, as it relates to the the facts in the case, Mr. Humphrey does dispute it as they are alleged. He does agree that there was a incident that took place. However, his involvement in it, he denies punching Miss Carroll at all. It's my understanding that he was out with his child. There was a verbal argument, more commotion went on. When his girlfriend came out to see what was going on, she got attacked, and so he went to go break it up, is my understanding of his version. The reason that he was actually arrested, as you have heard, that this incident date was back in March, is that he was actually searching for jobs, and they kept saying that something in his history was preventing him from getting jobs. So he actually reported to the police station, and I believe that's how he was picked up. We are asking the court, since this is only his second arrest and he has no convictions, everything is pending, that you would give him, and he doesn't have any income currently, that you would give him a reasonable bond in both matters. He has no issues with no contact with Brittany, no issues with no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And we're hoping that he would qualify for a signature bond in this case.
Yeah, thank you. This will be per judge, Mr. Howard. So on the battery, it's going to be 1,500. On the cruelty, it's going to be 1,000. This is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. He's to report to pretrial services once a week if he wants to maintain the signature bond. No further contact with Brittany Carroll. And if he doesn't share any kids with Miss Carroll, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Then no contact with Miss Brittany Carroll or any of her children or immediate family. He's to stay away from the in-town suites at 1175 Henry Road, and no illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. He reports to pretrial once a week until further order of the court, and his next court date will be sent to his current mailing address. Do we have a current mailing address? Because if we don't, then he can be picked up on a bench warrant, and if he doesn't show up in court. I have a Henry Road location. Is that the, well,
That's
yeah,
correct.
he'll need to change that address within 30 days of being released because he can't return to that location. All right, courtroom 2, please unmute.
Excuse me.
All right. Yes, Mr. Humphrey, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. What would you like to say?
So,
All right. Just make sure you comply with the conditions, otherwise you'll be arrested again. Thank you.
got position 13, Mr. Smith, Judge.
This is Ricky Smith, accused of criminal trespass from May 5th of this year, case 25 CR 2383Y. Mr. Smith, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Ms. Tamisha Cook. Any priors?
52.
Mr. McLean, Judge.
Oh, Mr. McLean? Okay, got it.
52. I got an open ag assault, right in penal institution, Clayton County. 2022 burglary, 2022 FTA, 2022 simple assault obstruction conviction. 2019.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. Miss Allen? I'm sorry, please unmute.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
This is a bind over from Union City. The incident date is the 5th of May. Police were called to the location of the Stay Inn at 6690 Shannon Parkway at about half an hour after midnight. Employees at the location reported that the defendant was on the property. He'd been asked multiple times over the last few days to leave, and he refused. Police located him on the 3rd floor. They made contact with him, spoke to him, let him know that he needed to leave, and they actually watched him leave the location. Unfortunately, they were called back again later that same day because he'd returned. When they came to the location, he'd moved into the wood line near the area. Officers made contact with Mr. Smith and took him into custody. We're asking for $1,000 surety to stay away from the stay in there at 6690 Shannon Parkway. This is based on the open aggravated assault case. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we'd request a social worker visit to see if there's some assistance needed for housing.
Mr. McLean, any objection to a $1,000 surety? Please unmute.
Your Honor, we would like to ask the court to consider a signature bond with a social worker visit. I have been able, he's got a stable mailing address. I reached his aunt, Ms. Cummins. I reached his mom, whose last name I didn't ask for. So he's got a stable mailing address. He's got 2 family phone numbers. He's got plenty of community contacts. We'll certainly make available our social service advice on housing, but I think the family maybe could step up here too. You know, he's got a 9th grade education. He's worked temporary staffing agencies and various odd jobs, and he's local.
Okay. Unfortunately, his 2022 bench warrant disqualifies him from a signature bond. It's going to be $1,000 surety. Stay away from the stay in at 6690 Shannon Parkway. Next court date is going to be May 20th. And no illegal drugs and firearms. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge Law.
Afternoon.
I have position number 10, Ms. Sanders.
Okay. Will the host please switch off the video for the folks who are either friends or victims or something? That's OG SIP 274, Mashai Phone, and Cresher Hood. Just switch off their videos until we're ready to address them. Thank you. All right. Position 10 is Kendra Sanders, accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. Case number 25 CR 0023828. Ms. Sanders, my name is Judge Law. This is a misdemeanor case involving 2 charges against you. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, the statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Presently, your counsel is Ms. Tamisha Cook. Any priors?
Smith, who is this?
Sanders.
Oh, Sanders.
Sanders.
Yeah, this is 5th arrest, 2023 FTA. 06 battery not prosecuted.
All right. All right.
Your Honor, this is an incident from May the 5th. Police were called at about 11:30 p.m. to 5005 Heatherwood Court in Roswell. The victim is a minor. Her initials are NW. She's the daughter of this defendant. The 911 call was about an assault at the location. The dispatch information reported that the victim called 911, said her mom was chasing her and had choked her, making her unable to breathe after being assaulted by her mother. When police arrived, they observed 2 women, the 16-year-old victim and her mother, in front of you in a verbal argument. The parties were separated. The victim, NW, reported that mom had been drinking and was upset with her, had assaulted her by striking her in the head multiple times, and then put her in what she described as a chokehold. She said she screamed for her stepfather, Mr. Strong, to come help her. She reported being in that chokehold for about 4 minutes and that she was unable to breathe for a portion of that. She said that when she tried to walk away from her mom during this argument, that's when her mother started striking her. That her dad eventually came into the kitchen and got her mother off of her. But her mother, the defendant in front of you, continued to follow her around the house and at one point jumped over the kitchen island to get at her. So the victim was able to flee outside, and that's when she called 911. The defendant on scene admitted that she'd confronted her daughter about an inappropriate social media post, and she claimed that her daughter charged at her, but she admitted putting her daughter in this headlock. And then her husband, the defendant's husband, Mr. Strong, who is described as the stepfather of the victim, the 16-year-old victim, said he observed his wife holding the 16-year-old in a chokehold and bear hugging her. While EMS were on scene, they noted and showed police that the young woman, the 16-year-old victim, had a bloody right ear as a result of being struck multiple times by her mom. Your Honor, we're asking for a surety bond at this point for $4,000. And the basis for that is that we have not been able to get in touch with the victim in this case. We did reach out and speak to Mr. Strong, who is the stepfather of the victim and the husband of this defendant. He said he didn't witness this incident, but he was present. He says nothing like this has ever happened before, but he wants his wife to return home. And ultimately, the state has some concerns about the safety of this young woman. And we need to have more information and the ability to make contact with her. So at this time, we'd ask for no contact, to stay away from the location, FVIP or DVIP, and a $4,000 surety. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. If you'd call for Mr. Strong, perhaps the 16-year-old has returned home. We just weren't given any information about how to make contact with her because she's at school.
All right. Chauncey Strong, if you want to address the court, this is the time to unmute and start your video. I don't see anyone except some person called CJ on Zoom, so I'm not sure if he's here. All right, Ms. Cook.
I'm here. How you doing?
Well, that's good. Let's go ahead. Ms. Grace, if you can prompt the user to start their video.
Yes, how you doing?
It's done, Judge.
All right, now, Mr. Strong, you can go to your closet and go put on a jacket.
Hold on.
Mute him and switch off the video until he's dressed for court. Thank you. All right, Ms. Cook, what do you have to say?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Sanders, she's 37 years old. She has a total of, she's married with 4 children, ages 20, the 17-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old. She's been in Georgia all her life. She is a high school grad. She graduated from high school from Albany in 2006. She attended some college. She's currently self-employed. Your Honor, as it relates to the factual allegations in this particular matter, I think that Ms. Allen misinterpreted some of the incident report as I see it. Nevertheless, Ms. Sanders does deny the allegations as alleged. She does agree that her daughter did swing at her. This is her child. It's my understanding that she intends to have her 17-year-old daughter go stay with her mom, who lives in Albany, Georgia. Currently, the daughter is in 11th grade. She does have, it's my understanding the daughter has several ear piercings, and specifically the report, as it states, it says Kendra stated she did not place Al in a chokehold, but she did restrain her. That is very different than saying that she put her in a chokehold, as the way Ms. Allen presented it. We are asking the court to allow her a signature bond on these matters. She doesn't have any violent history. I believe pretrial mentioned a 2023 FTA. It's my understanding that's from a speeding ticket, I believe, out of Cobb County, that I do believe has since been resolved. She is the sole legal guardian for the children. However, she, like I said, intends to have her mother, which would be the child's grandmother, have her while this is going on. So for that reason, Your Honor, we would be asking you to allow her to return home, to allow this exchange to take place with the grandmother so that the 17-year-old can go there. And I will ask that you hear from Ms. Saunders' husband.
This is the grandmother of the mother of whom? The defendant or?
The mother of Ms. Saunders, which would be the complaining witness's grandmother. So.
Okay, so the defendant's mother.
Yes.
And what's the name?
I can't read my own handwriting, so if Ms. Saunders can give you.
Debbie Francois, could the defendant identify the person with whom the child will be living?
My mom, Sandra Petty Bone. Petty Bone is spelled P-E-T-T-I.
B-O-N-E.
I'm sorry, you're very muffled, so I can't make out the words.
Okay. Oh, my mom, her name is Sandra Pettibone, and her last name is spelled Pettibone.
B-O-N-E, Sandra Pettibone.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, Miss Grace, if you want to prompt OG SIP to start his video, maybe all right. Mr. Chauncey, did you want to contribute to the proceedings?
Yeah,
Your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
correct.
Okay, I understand that you want Ms. Sanders to come back to the home. Is that correct?
Correct, because the other lawyer stated a lot of incorrect things. I never told her that she had it. Nobody had it in chokehold. I didn't even speak up on that. So a lot of that other stuff was actually incorrect.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I wasn't there. I walked in the midst of it. It was an argument.
So I'm just going to go by the sworn testimony of the police officer.
Well, he stated a lot of incorrect information because he was angry out there for some reason. He was upset. I don't know what was wrong with him. He stated a lot of incorrect information.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. On the battery family violence, that's going to be 5,000, and the simple battery is going to be 2,000. This is going to be a 7,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. Which means that, Ms. Sanders, you can sign up for your bond, but you'll be reporting to pretrial services twice a month. You are to have no further contact with NW, who is the minor child in question, and you are to stay away from 5005 Heatherwood Court in Roswell, Georgia, until Sandra Pettibone picks up NW and takes her to a home. Do you understand?
Do I have to do the pretrial signature thing? I have to do that. I can't just pay a bond to get out.
You can sign up for your bond. You don't have to pay. You have to report to pretrial services twice a month. But you have to comply with the following conditions.
Right, I understand what you're saying, but I'm asking, is it an option?
Miss Sanders, if you have any questions, ask them, call me and let me know.
All right, I'm not sure what she was trying to ask, but she needs to understand that. But if she doesn't want to do pretrial, if she wants to pay for a bond, that's a different story.
I believe that's what she was saying, Your Honor. She'd rather not have to go through pretrial and pay money for a bond.
Okay.
Yeah, I would rather do the other one.
But you still have to comply with your conditions.
No, I understand, but I mean, I'd rather just pay because I'd rather just pay versus having to report every month, and my schedule doesn't allow me to have to do all of that. It's like a lot of extra stuff for me. With being an entrepreneur, business owner, I have kids.
It's your money and your freedom. But in the meantime, so this is going to be a $7,000 surety bond. No further contact with NW, and stay away from 5005 Heatherwood Court in Roswell, Georgia. You can return to the location as soon as NW vacates the premises and is living with Sandra Pettibone. Okay. And while NW is living with Sandra Pettibone, you are not to visit your mother's house while she's living there. Your mother can come visit you without NW, but you cannot go visit them. Do you understand? No. You are to not consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and not own or possess any firearms. If there are any firearms in your home, they have to be removed. Your next court date is going to be May 20th. And if you do make bond, you don't have to show up on court on May 20th, but you'll need to maintain a current address so that we can send you notices for your future court dates. Thank you.
Hey, Francois, can you check the chat?
Next case, please. Francois, did you have another case?
Yes, I do, Judge. I have position number 3. That's going to be, she waived her appearance. That's Miss Boysorge.
Who represents Ms. Boysorge? Mr. McLean, is that you or Ms. Cook?
No, I represent her. I might not have sent the waiver to the right person, but I did send the waiver.
Okay, you would have to send it to Miss, I think Holly Bridgewater.
Okay, I'll re-forward it.
All right. Mr. Strong, you're free to go, or Mr. Chauncey, was it? Chauncey Strong. And so let me see. Sandra Bossage is represented by attorney Tamisha Cook, who has waived her presence. And she is charged, Ms. Bossage is charged with criminal trespass, case 25 CR 23798. Mr. Howard, any priors?
No, jail with the recommendation.
Okay. And Ms. Harrison, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on May 5th at McDonald's on 526 Ponce de Leon Avenue. Officers entered McDonald's and made contact with the caller, Cedric Thomas, who informed them that the defendant was previously criminally trespassed and was sitting at a table in the corner. When officers approached the defendant, Mr. Thomas stated that she refused to leave the property when he asked her, and she had previously been in an altercation. When officers approached the defendant, they could not get a coherent response from her, and she made random incoherent remarks when they questioned her. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for a social worker visit for BHET evaluation and possible residential assistance services, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while on bond, and a stay away from the incident location, which would be the McDonald's on 526 Ponce de Leon Avenue. That'll be all.
Ms. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Sandra is 45 years old. She's highest level of education completed 12th grade. She's been in Georgia for a little over a year. I don't believe she has any criminal convictions. I believe pretrial services recommendation was a signature bond through the jail. We would be asking for that. She had some medical concerns, which was the reason why she asked me to waive her presence today. So for those reasons, Your Honor, we we'll be asking you to go along based on the nature of the charges. It's just a criminal trespass to give her a signature bond through the jail.
A $2,000 signature bond through the jail to stay away from the McDonald's at 526 Ponce de Leon Avenue, which includes the parking lot and the sidewalks. Failure to comply can result in a revocation of the bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
How much was that?
2,000 signature bond through the jail. Thank you, Francois. You have a good day.
Thank you. You as well, Judge. Also, we're looking for the Spanish interpreter for courtroom 2.
All right. I'll find out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got position 14 next, Judge. Mr. Tanksley.
Miss Grace or Miss Bridgewater, can you all keep a track of the Spanish interpreter? I think we'll need a break
Yeah.
for 2. Okay. 14. Julian Russell Tanksley is accused of 2 counts of battery family violence from December 16th of last year. His accused case number is 25 CR 2375H. Mr. Tanksley, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
9th arrest. 2020 probation, 2019 FTA, 2017 ag stalking, no bill. Hold on. Okay. 2017 violation of family violence order conviction.
That was 2017?
Correct.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that was reported in December of 2024. Warrants were obtained, it looks like, on the 3rd of January 2025, and this young man was just picked up in May. The victim in this case is Mackenzie Cody. She and the defendant have lived together and been in a relationship previously. She reported to police at headquarters on the 19th of December that on the 16th of December, her boyfriend had come over to, or her ex-boyfriend at the time, had come over to her residence at 687 Kennesaw Avenue Northeast. They were engaging in some intimate behavior and drinking when she was in handcuffs and the defendant began to assault her. She begged for him to stop. He assaulted her repeatedly. She had bruising all over her neck, her face, and her back and shoulders. He also bit her, causing a bite mark that was visible to police when she made this report on her neck. Eventually, the victim reported that she was released from the handcuffs. She texted she texted a friend to request that they help. That friend came over and they were able to forcefully remove the defendant from the residence. She identified the defendant for police, and that's when they obtained warrants. We did speak to Mrs. Cody today. She verified the information in the warrants. She said that there'd been violence previously, but there'd never been police involvement. She hasn't had any contact, but she doesn't want any contact, and she wants the defendant to stay away from her residence. We're asking for a $2,000 surety, no contact with Ms. Cody, to stay away from 687 Kennesaw Avenue Northeast, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. If you'd sound from Ms. Cody in case she was able to join us.
Mackenzie Cody, if you are on Zoom, this will be the time to unmute and start your video. I have a Samsung SM9 and other than that, no one. So, Mr. McLean, yes, sir. If you could unmute courtroom 2, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Julian Tanks, he's 32. He has a stable address in another county. Stone Mountain specifically is the town, so he'd be far, far away from Kennesaw Avenue or Street. Your Honor, he has a high school graduation in 2011, a couple of years in a local college, a Georgia college, not local to Atlanta, but down in Savannah. His work history in the last 5 years includes chef, and again being a chef, and again being a chef, 3 different restaurants. Based on these stability factors, we would ask the court to consider a signature bond, and if not that, then a 1,000 surety. Thank you.
Okay. On each count is going to be $1,500. This is going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Mackenzie Cody. Stay away from 687 Kennesaw Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. He will report to pretrial once a month. He will also enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released, and he will complete all 26 classes without missing or skipping them at his expense. No alcohol consumption either. He will be subject to random screens for illegal drugs and or alcohol. His next court date will be sent to his current address. If he changes address, he will need to make sure that he contacts and informs the court in writing. Thank you.
Judge, I got position 15 next.
Okay. Got it? The state versus Lamardia Wiggs, accused of simple battery, family violence, disorderly conduct, and an additional count of simple battery, family violence. Case number 25 CR 002377F. Mr. Wiggs, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors?
15, 2011 ag assault, battery, simple assault, arrest. 09 FTA, 09 FTA probation.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is an incident that started at about midnight on the 5th of May and went into the morning of the 6th, just over the midnight hour. Police were called to 125 Woodway in Fairburn. The 911 caller was Aubrey Jones, who is the niece of this defendant. She reported that her uncle, the defendant, chased his nephew, who is the main victim in this case, Rylan Hood, an 18-year-old, around outside while holding a chair and trying to strike him. Lucretia Hood, also a victim in this case, and the mother of Rylan Hood, told police that she intervened to get the defendant off of her child. When police spoke to the victim, the 18-year-old, he said he'd been in his room when he heard his uncle arguing with his mom, calling her vulgar names, using profanity multiple times. He exited his room and told his mom she could go to her bedroom. He engaged with his uncle, who then began insulting him and then approached him and shoved him in the face in a way that is described as mushing him in his face, but it caused him to fall backwards. It was forceful. The young man, Rylan Hood, reported that he responded by striking his uncle, and at that point, he went outside. Family started to try to intervene, and that's when it's reported that the defendant picked up a chair and started chasing him. Police did see a bent gray folding chair outside with multiple empty bottles on the ground. The victim reported that the defendant, while chasing him with that chair and trying to hit him, eventually got him in his hands and put him in a chokehold. Those are the words that were used in the police documents. The defendant's wife, Jasmine Gregory, then spoke to police. She reported that she was asleep and didn't see the incident, but someone woke her up and said there was a fight. She said she saw the victim, Mr. Hood, with a knife making threats. When police did speak to the defendant, he was noted to be visibly intoxicated, smelling of alcohol. He admitted that people had been gathered and that they were drinking. He said he was drinking, and he said he had fallen while he was drinking. He said he'd been jumped by family members. That was his explanation for why police were there. We did speak to Mrs. Hood. So one of the victims in the case, her son came in to intervene when this gentleman was abusing her verbally and being violent in the kitchen. She says the defendant's her sister, that they live at the location. She says this isn't typical for him. They didn't want him to go to jail. They just wanted the fighting to stop. The state has some concerns. There's substance abuse or MH issues going on here. That was actually mentioned by Mrs. Gregory in the police report, the wife of this defendant. We're asking for a $3,000 surety, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, no violent contact with anyone at that location, and an evaluation or social worker visit to determine if a BHET is appropriate. If you'd sound for Mrs. Lucretia Hood, she's the mother of the 18-year-old and the sister of the defendant. It sounds like they all live there together.
Sounds like it. Ms. Lucretia Hood, if you want to unmute and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right. How is it that you ended up living with Mr. Wiggs and his wife?
We actually live with our youngest sister. An instance came where I had to move out of my apartment because it was income based, and my income is over the amount. So my family and I are looking for another place. And since she had the bigger home, we just moved in with her.
In Mr. Wiggs' home?
No, it's my sister, my youngest sister. Her name is Tamisha Jones. She should be on the call as well.
Who?
Tamisha Jones.
Is that Misha?
It's her house. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Miss Grace, can we prompt her to start a video? Okay, so, and your son lives with Mr. Wiggs' household as well?
It's not Mr. Wiggs' household. It's Tamisha Jones' household. And yes, ma'am, we all live
It's
there
my household.
collectively.
Okay. All right. All right. Miss Tamisha Hood, is it?
Jones.
Jones. I can't tell because her name says Misha iPhone. Okay. Tamisha Jones.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. And Miss Jones, if you'd like to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you
Yes.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Could you bring the phone up to your face and perfect? Okay. And what would you like to tell us?
it was a bad argument that got out of hand. We are siblings and we're really, really close knit. We did not want my brother to go to jail, but I called. I had my daughter to call because I have told them living with me that if they got too loud for me, I would call to have someone removed. So in this case, I just wanted the argument to like go down. We were all in this together, and for him to go to jail, it was very upsetting, but I have spoke to all of them and said, hey, if you argue in my home, if it gets too loud, I will have you guys removed. So this is our brother that we love.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to have him removed?
What I did, I called the police.
Okay.
But it doesn't normally get there. So we don't argue like that.
I was just trying to figure out the house rules. So you own the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And all these people are living with you because of your generosity.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. If you could mute your screen, both of you mute your screens, please. Thank you. All right, Mr. McLean. I'm sorry, Mr. McLean. We're just waiting for it to unmute. There we go.
Oh, there we go. He's 45 years old. He can live elsewhere. That's fine. He could do random screens, Your Honor, and show the court that he's off of alcohol and not having anything in his system whatsoever. He would ask the court to consider a signature bond. He's got a GED education. He's a computer tech for the last couple of years. And before that, he did warehouse work. He was a forklift driver.
Thank you. On count one, simple battery family violence, that's going to be 2,000. The disorderly conduct is 1,000. And count two, simple battery family violence is 1,000. Total bond is 4,000. Signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. He's to have no further contact with Ryland Hood. He's to stay away from the location at 125 Woodway, Fairburn, Georgia, in zip code 30213. He's allowed a one-time visit with a police officer to remove his belongings. And within 30 days, he must update the court with his new residential address in writing. Within 30 days of being released also, he must enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and complete 26 weeks classes of family violence counseling. And he will pay for those classes out of his own pocket without missing or skipping any classes. He's also to abstain from all alcoholic beverages and all illegal drugs. He's not allowed to own or possess a firearm. He will be subject to random screens by pretrial. His next court date will be sent to his new residential address, so it's very important that we have it. And no contact with Ryland Hood means that he has to stay away from the home where Ryland lives, as well as not communicate with him in any way, form, or manner, including through a third party or social media. Thank you. We have a Spanish interpreter here, Ms. Tolles. How do you like? Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Tolles. Thank you for being here. Deputy, how would you like to have or we have one more case before Ms. Tolles' case?
Got one more case, Judge, and we'll do that interpreter case that next.
Ms. Tolles, if you please hold and we can put you in a breakout. And who do we have?
We have add-on to Mr. Snow.
Okay. Mr. William Snow's case is 25 CR 002384J, accused of driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, and failure to comply with the Georgia hands-free law from May 7th, 2025. Mr. Snow, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
Second, 2012 suspended license.
Okay. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from today at about 1:15 a.m. Police observed the defendant driving Sidney Marcus Boulevard in Piedmont. He was seen with his phone in his hands, so police initiated a traffic stop. While police were approaching the defendant in his vehicle, he was seen to quickly put a mint in his mouth. While speaking with the defendant, officers noted that he smelled of alcohol. He had slurred speech and watery eyes. He made an admission to drinking tequila before he drove. He declined to take part in any FSTs and refused blood. He was arrested for DUI, less safe, and distracted driving. He has no real criminal history, but Alabama and Georgia driver's history, including accidents based on erratic lane change, speeding convictions following too closely in an accident from 2016, and 2018. We're asking for a $5,000 surety, Your Honor, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Snow is an employee of the United States Department of Defense. For the last 15 years, he has done logistics. He has a bachelor's degree in, I believe, social work and a master's degree in management and leadership from Webster University of St. Louis, Missouri. Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider a signature bond based on the lack of substantial history. He could take a driving course and become a better driver, and that would, I think, address the erratic lane changes.
That's not what he's charged with, but
I know.
so on the DUI, that's going to be a $1,500 surety, and on the Georgia hands-free law, that's going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail. This is a $2,000 split bond. No, his next court date is going to be May 20th. If he makes bond, then he need not appear on May 20th, but he'll need to maintain a good residential address for the court so we can send him his summons for his next court date. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no driving unless he has a valid driver's license or a authorized driving privilege permit from the Georgia Department of Driver Services or the Alabama Department of Driver Services. Please understand that your driving privileges will be suspended within 30 days of your arrest. Thank you.
Judge, what was that bottom amount?
$1,500 surety on the DUI, $500 signature bond through the jail on count 2. Okay, so Mr. McLean, are you representing add-on position 1 and position 5, Garcia Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor. He was in felony court before, I believe, and he was represented by Attorney Browning, and I have his information. I asked him just now, although I have his information and was present when he was interviewed then, same information I would ask him. And it would be better for him to have an interpreter to understand what we're going to go through. But I've got his education and job history to give to the court, a little bit about family.
All right, so you don't need a breakout then at the present time, is that correct?
I do not.
Okay. Ms. Tolles, if you please raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear and affirm the transportation you provide will be true and accurate without any changes or embellishments?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. We are addressing Elias Garcia Sanchez, who's got 2 misdemeanor cases for first appearance.
Estamos hablando sobre Elías García Sánchez, que tiene 2 casos de delitos menores en esta comparecencia inicial.
His first case is 25 CR 2376D from a March 13th, 2024 incident.
El primer caso es 2025 CR 2376D de un incidente que ocurrió el 13 de marzo de 2024.
In that case, he's charged with failure to obey a stop sign and driving without a valid license.
En ese caso se le ha imputado las infracciones de desobedecer, un pare y manejar sin licencia.
In the second case, it's 25 CR 002385D from a June 16th, 2024 incident.
El segundo caso es 25 CR 002385D, que proviene de un incidente el 16 de junio de 2024.
In the June 2024 case, he's accused of driving without a valid license and failure to report an accident.
En el caso de junio de 2024, se le ha imputado las infracciones de manejar sin licencia y no reportar un accidente.
Mr. Garcia, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say during the course of this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you.
Señor García, usted tiene derecho a permanecer callado. Cualquier cosa que usted diga durante esta diligencia virtual podrá y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, Mr. McLean will be representing you, but it appears that you already have a private attorney, a Mr. Browning.
No,
Si
Your
no si no pudiera costear un abogado, se le podría designar uno de oficio, pero parece que usted ya tiene un abogado designado, el licenciado McLean, pero al parecer también usted ya tiene un abogado particular que le está representando, el licenciado Browning.
Oh, let me clarify. Ms. Browning is one of our public defenders. She did felony first appearance today.
I
Si
see.
yo puedo aclarar, la licenciada Browning es una de las abogadas de oficio en el Tribunal de Delitos Graves. Ella le ayudó durante su comparecencia inicial.
All right. In that case, Mr. McLean will be representing you.
En este caso, el licenciado McLean le va a representar.
Mr. Howard, what is Mr. Garcia's prior history?
45. I think I counted about 15 driving related arrests since 2010.
Señor Howard, ¿cuál sería el historial de manejo del señor García? Creo que yo conté 15 infracciones de manejo desde el 2010.
He got no bond and felony earlier.
Okay.
No le concedieron la fianza anteriormente por el delito grave.
And does he have a bench warrant from 2025? I've got a February 27th failure to appear.
Y tiene también una orden de captura de 2025. Tengo una falta de comparecencia de la fecha 27 de febrero.
Not sure. I know he has a 2024 FTA.
Bueno, no estoy seguro. Creo que yo sé que tiene una falta de comparecencia de 2024.
Hold on for a minute.
Si me permite un momento.
Yeah, you're right. He had a FTA from April 25th. He was released May 6th. What?
Sí, tiene razón, su señoría. Tenía una falta de comparecencia del 25 de abril. Lo dejaron en libertad el 6 de mayo. ¿Qué?
That says transfer of custody, but he came right back, so I'm not sure what happened.
Su señoría aquí dice transferencia de custodia, pero volvió enseguida. No estoy seguro.
FTA was out of Roswell.
Y la falta de comparecencia fue en Roswell.
That's it.
Es todo.
Ms. Harris?
Licenciada Harris.
Yes, Your Honor. I think that FTA is showing like that because it was a buying over out of Roswell.
Creo que aparece ahí la falta de comparecencia porque fue una consignación al tribunal de mayor nivel en Roswell.
Well, Your Honor, since both of the cases are bind overs, we have the citations, but we don't have any facts of the cases. We don't have any narratives of the cases. So the state's recommendations were the bonds that they came in with, and I'll read them out per case.
Su señoría, como fueron consignaciones esos casos, no tenemos los hechos de los casos. Entonces, nuestra recomendación sería la cantidad de la fianza y le puedo leer la fianza de cada uno.
For case 25CR002376D, failure to stop at a stop sign, the bond was set at $600. And driving without a license violation, looks like it's a $4,000 bond. The state's recommendation is to reinforce that.
Entonces, para el caso 0022376D, por desobedecer un pare, le habían puesto una fianza de 600 y por manejar sin licencia, una fianza de 4,000 que quisiéramos imponerle.
For case 25CR002385D, failure to report an accident. It looks like no bond. We're requesting a $500 surety bond there. And driving without a license violation is another $4,000 bond.
Para el caso 25CR002385D, por no reportar un accidente, no le concedieron la fianza. Estamos pidiendo una fianza de caución de $500. Y en cuanto a la infracción de manejar sin licencia, una fianza de 4,000 nuevamente.
The state's concern is that the defendant is not licensed at all. So we're recommending that he not be allowed to drive at all.
La inquietud del Estado es que el señor acusado no tiene licencia en absoluto, entonces que no se le permita manejar en absoluto.
And of course, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while on bond.
Y claro, nada de consumo de alcohol ni droga, ni tenencia de armas mientras está en libertad bajo fianza.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, thank you. He is 50 years old. He has worked since 1998 here as a wood framer in the construction industry. I believe I saw Tony Warello as a employer listed.
Sí, licenciado McLean. Sí, él tiene 50 años de edad y ha trabajado aquí desde el 98 en la industria de madera y framing. Y creo que, and if Mr. McLean, if the interpreter may inquire, what was the name of the employer? The interpreter did not hear clearly.
Tony Warello.
¿Tiene nombrado un tal Tony Morello como el empleador?
And he has a 6th grade education, but obviously on the job training, he does well in the construction industry, Your Honor. We would ask the court to consider a lowering of the bond to the 2,000 surety neighborhood.
Tiene una educación de hasta el 6º grado y claro, la capacitación que uno consigue trabajando le va muy bien en la industria de construcción. Estamos solicitando, por favor, que se reduzca la fianza alrededor de una fianza de caución de 2,000.
And of course, with appropriate conditions such as no driving without a license.
Y claro, con las condiciones ya mencionadas de no manejar sin licencia.
And so on. Thank you.
What does
Y
he for
nosotros, además.
he do for Mr. Morello?
He's a framer. It is construction of homes, the wood framing that goes on.
Understood.
It's not
¿Qué hace él para el señor Morello? Él hace el armazón, el framing de madera residencial.
For position 5 of the main calendar, on the failure to obey a stop sign is a $1,000 surety. Driving without a valid license is a $1,000 surety. He has a $2,000 surety bond. No driving at all until he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. And he will be on an ankle monitor for 12 months upon release at his expense to make sure that he does not drive during the course of that period.
En cuanto al caso que aparece en la posición 5 de la lista principal de cargos, lista principal de casos, por desobedecer un señal de parar, le impongo una fianza de $1,000, una fianza de caución. Por manejar sin licencia, una fianza de $1,000, una fianza de caución será una fianza total de caución de 2,000. Nada de manejar en absoluto hasta que tenga una licencia válida, seguro de auto y registro válido. También que le ponen un grillete telemétrico durante los 12 meses.
For the add-on case on the driving without a valid license is $1,000 surety. Failure to report an accident is $1,000 surety. Is a total of $2,000 surety. Again, no driving unless he has a valid license, registration, and insurance. And the ankle monitor would be also imposed for this case.
En cuanto al caso adicional, en la lista de causas adicionales, por el cargo de manejar sin licencia, una fianza de caución de $1,000. Por lo de no reportar un accidente automovilístico, una fianza de $1,000. Entonces, una fianza de caución total de $2,000. Una condición de que no puede manejar en absoluto hasta que consiga una licencia de manejo válida, registro de auto y seguro de auto, y también le voy a imponer el uso de la tobillera telemétrica, el monitor, durante el plazo que esté en libertad.
No? Any questions, Mr. McLean?
¿Alguna pregunta, licenciado McLean?
None, thank you.
Ninguna, gracias.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tolles. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. All right. We had a couple of more cases that have not been addressed. Petition number 8, Alan Patrick.
Posted bond?
Posted bond, released bond. Okay. So this is further notice. And then 11 and 12, Natalie Shalenge.
Reset, detox. She's at Grady.
Okay, so this is a Grady reset, no Riverside issue. Thank you. Okay, for the calendar, position 1, Jim Barnett, that's a $5,000 signature bond to pretrial with an FBIT requirement. Position 2, Bain, is $1,000 surety, reset May 20th. Position 3 is a $2,000 signature bond to the jail. Position 4, Burton, is a $2,000 signature bond to the jail. Position 5, Garcia, is a $2,000 surety bond, reset date May 20th. Position 6, Humphrey, is a $2,500 signature bond to pretrial, level 3.
Per judge.
Yes, per judge. Position 7, Ida Wu, is a $1,500 surety, reset date May 20th, along with her second case, 19 CR 2337F. Position 8 is released and further notice. Position 9, Resendez, is a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Position 10 is a $7,000 surety bond. Reset date is May 20th. Position 11 and 12 are reset to tomorrow, May 8th at 2 p.m. Position 13, Ricky Smith, is a $1,000 surety, reset date May 20th. 14, Tanksley, is a $3,000 signature bond to pretrial, level 1, with the FBIT requirement. And then on the add-on cases, again, Garcia is a $2,000 surety, reset May 20th. And 2, William Snow, is a $2,000 split bond, reset date May 20th.
Let me get number 3 again, please.
Number 3 is a $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you.
Stay away from the McDonald's at Ponce de Leon. Okay, any questions about any of the cases? No? All right. This was
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Good afternoon. We'll have you tomorrow.
Yes.
Great. All right. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. I'm glad our Zoom is working today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.